The South African Weather Service says while thunderstorms can be expected in the interior regions today, it's unlikely the weather will be as severe as overnight. For several hours yesterday, parts of Gauteng were pummeled by large hailstones, causing damage to some properties and chaos on the roads.
The extreme weather was also experienced in parts of KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo and the Northwest. Social media users have shared a number of videos online showing the extent of the damage, especially in Johannesburg. In Mpumalanga, a suspected tornado swept through Standerton and Bethel, which was followed by severe downpours.
Now, Johannesburg Emergency Services says teams are on high alert following that damaging hailstorm. Spokesperson Robert Malawuti gave us an update on the AM report earlier.
Most of the areas, they reported damages in terms of the vehicles which were damaged in most of their areas. The parking bays in most of the areas were reported to have been damaged. Our river stream, mostly in our city, they should be the water levels should be much more higher now. So we're encouraging our residents out there to monitor young kids to stay away from those areas and also not to cross, river streams as and when they conduct their day-to-day business. From our side as a city, we've got all our fire stations fully operational. We've got a specialized teams which responds to water-related emergencies or rescue emergencies which are on high alert. We should be able to respond to all the emergencies which might be reported throughout the day today.
Once again, the South African Weather Service warning of thunderstorms again today, but they say it's not expected to be as severe. Let's get you a sense of what it is likely to look like. Bring in forecaster Lehlohonolo Thobela, who joins us now live for yet another update. Great to have you on the program, Lehlohonolo. Thanks for your time. Let me start here. Many people were taken by surprise by the thunderstorms we experienced overnight. Was the Weather Service also taken aback?
Good morning and thanks for having us. I think isolated showers and thunder showers were expected over the central and the northeastern parts of the country as of yesterday. And with that said, in the afternoon, just after 4 p.m., just 5 to 5 p.m., that's when a severe thunderstorm warning was sent. It was a level 2. I think it was sent as a nowcast as the storms that were expected started intensifying, and the radars were showing that the storms have a core that is actually off damage and would result in some significant, rather, at that time it looked like it was minor impacts. However, a warning was sent out by around 5 to 4 over the areas over the northeastern parts, which would cover also some parts of Mpumalanga as well as the city of Johannesburg. And the warning was then to last up until the evening. And that's when we saw that the hail actually, which then was more severe than the warning that would have been, but the severe thunderstorm warning that was sent out covered the area in terms of it happening. Yes, we expected the storms to be there, but the severity of it just then happened in a nowcast situation. Hence, the severe thunderstorm warning was sent just as when that was picked up.
Yeah, so this was a warning that was sent around 4 o'clock. Usually we typically get the warning much more ahead of time. What does that tell us about our warning systems?
No, but it has nothing to do with our warning system. The thing about a severe thunderstorm, or rather thunderstorms in general, they are things that they happen as they happen. That's when they develop to be much stronger or not. Especially warnings that come with systems, that's when we see much more further. Because remember, this one was not linked to any major weather system or anything. It was mainly heat. And in terms of heat, then sometimes you'd have dry microbursts and you also have heat bursts. So in terms of our warning systems, I think, still working in terms of the models, the same way we could pick up that the severity of the storms is actually intensifying, but not at the time that was sent. It would intensify later. And if you look at the videos, that actually happened in the evening. So by the time it happened, the warning system had picked up that the systems, rather the severe thunderstorms, may increase in terms of intensity, and then the updraft might result in the hail that we saw.
All right, so in other words, you couldn't have sent out that warning any earlier anyway.
Yeah, because remember, in terms of the atmosphere's instability, that then has to also convince the terms of the warning system in terms of how this thing happens. So sometimes with heat burst or time of the severe thunderstorm warnings, as much as it's so dynamical, it sometimes then takes longer. But that's why you have forecasters to sit in the office 24 hours monitoring a situation where you have a weather. Because sometimes you'll have an isolated chance of showers and thunder showers, which would just bring showers and rain, which then would not even lead to flooding. Then that would see that it is not of any danger rather to life or infrastructure. But since that's happening in the storm, we don't just let it be. We sit down and look at the storm's development, and as it progresses, if it is of any harm, our duty is to send out that warning that time.
Sure, fair enough. I'm looking at the forecast from my app. That's the best I could do. And it's showing us that there's going to be, again, another series of high temperatures, high 20s into early 30s for the next week ahead. Does that necessarily mean the worst is behind us, or is it still a bit early to tell?
I mean, the last time I think we spoke, I can't remember who was in the interview, but we spoke about El Nino, and with El Nino we did touch on bases and effects of what El Nino does. So with El Nino we have drier conditions, which would also increase much more of the temperatures, and with the increase in temperatures, it then moves on to say it doesn't leave out extreme weather as what we've seen yesterday. I mean, from the first thunderstorm we had in spring, we had very strong winds, which were dry microbursts due to the severity of the thunderstorm that happened in the evening. Yes, that was detected, but it was nothing related to rainfall or anything, but it was an extreme amount where people would also think it was a tornado when it was not. So in terms of El Nino situation as we are in the current state, we are yet to experience much more of the extreme weather, especially over the central and the northeastern parts of the country, which would cover then areas around Gauteng and Mpumalanga, spreading all over to Limpopo and parts of Free States, as well as not leaving out KwaZulu-Natal and the eastern parts of the Northwest Province. So we are yet to see, with much more of the warnings that are sent out and the weather that's to happen, extreme weather is yet to still continue for as long as we're in summer.
All right, Lehlohonolo Thobela, forecaster with the South African Weather Service. Thanks very much indeed for that update.